is Monday, August 16th, 2021. Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from Southern California, the 8th annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. Folks, we will show you some of the great time we've had here. Of course, we'll talk with Ceek the Entertainer about this event, who it benefits. Also on the show, of course, we got to deal with some news, and that is Haiti. More than 1,300 people died in a massive earthquake over the weekend. We'll give you the latest details, plus drama in Afghanistan as thousands descend on the airport in Kabul. President Joe Biden speaks, says he made the right decision, even though things have not gone well, trying to evacuate Americans from there. Black farmers continue to have significant issues when it comes to getting their aid. We'll talk that and more on Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live. It's time to bring the funk. Let's go.
He's got the scoop, the fact, the fine. And when it breaks, he's right on time. And it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
All right, folks, we're at Spanish Hills Country Club here in Southern California for the 8th annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. It's been a fantastic day. Of course, it did not happen last year because of COVID. We were last year in 2019, but certainly glad to be back and to be here with the man himself, Ceek the Entertainer. Ceek, first of all, you got like all...
Swag.
You got the swag. You got all the colors. He got all 31 Baskin Robbins. You got everybody.
I pulled up feeling real sherbet today. I was like, listen, I'm out here, popsicle clean.
So y'all know,
Like
I
that.
saw Sid last night. I said, Sid, I got a little something special for you. And so that camera right here, let's go. So I went ahead and ordered these special foot joys here.
See.
And I got the black and gold, my alpha colors. And then I got Roro on the side. And so I debuted
See.
them. We don't have that camera, Anthony, we need, that camera's not up. So matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to be real black. We just going to take our shoe off.
You got
We gonna be real.
you got the
You got
modern
the
technology.
Yeah, these are called the boa. The
So
boa,
you
you
can-
unscrew.
you can unscrew
and
and
so as
screw
you
'em up.
see right here, so we got Roro
Alpha.
right here. Being an alpha man. Say
Not
it's a
even
Kappa
Martin
man.
Luther King could save you today. What was you doing out there, bro?
Well, we shot 17 under.
When that happened?
What you mean when that happened?
That was not going on when I came up to y'all,
No,
man.
we parked that hole.
Okay.
But that was
All
one of the
right.
few we
All
parked.
right, that's
Okay.
golf. That's golf, people.
But we were
This is
smoking.
golf. Okay, yeah, you say he was on fire, man.
well, we on fire.
Did the shoe? Was it the shoes?
Oh.
It got to be the shoes.
Oh, yeah, it was the shoes.
It got to be the shoes. You
was
ordered
the
them
shoes.
special.
Yeah, I did.
All right, and they was fine.
First time I wore them.
All right, you
So,
killed it, though.
I had to go
You
ahead and...
didn't put no coins on your feet. Sometimes you wear them new, and they get up against that.
That left side,
You get up against
it's
there, you
burning
like-
a little bit.
you
Right.
like,
I didn't break them in yet.
It was one that you swung and hit that.
About a 14th hole, I was like,
Yeah, these cool
it's
though.
slightly uncomfortable, but
That need
but
a
the first
thicker
time,
sock.
right. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's all
There you
good,
go.
dog.
So, first of all, Lexus is sponsoring the
Yeah.
tournament, Kyle's Family Foundation, and Boys and Girls Club benefits.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for 8 years. We started Kyle's Family Foundation, my wife and I. We've been raising money, just doing a lot of like Boys and Girls Club, Brotherhood Crusade, a lot of like just programs to help the youth, man. I grew up single parent household, my mother, and so all the male stuff came from a Boys and Girls Club. Hanging out at Matthews Dickey, learning to play baseball, all that kind of stuff, sports stuff. So that's You know, that's why I support, you know, Boys and Girls Club, and it's amazing. It's an amazing organization. They just do great work. And then we do the Rosetta Boys Kyles Women's Health Pavilion in St. Louis at St. Mary's Hospital. I started that for my mother, who passed in 2016. And so my sister and I, again, that's another thing we give back. And a lot of women's health, you know, work that we do there, just supporting all those initiatives. And, of course, scholarships. I've been doing scholarships since 94 when I got my first money.
Right.
Rolling with that first song with my, I said, no what? My mama taught me right. Who need to go to college?
So you said gave back early.
I said, and I told them kids, now mine alone. If you don't graduate, I'm coming looking for you.
You got that right.
I need mine back.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you know, I ain't just giving you this for college.
Right.
Do something.
For you to finish.
All right, don't give mine back then. You ain't do it? What you got?
Yeah. No, I feel you on that one.
Yeah,
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. Now, you have, first of all, great turnout. And last night at the VIP party, we live streamed last night.
Yeah.
And you were on stage along with Eric Benet, Philip Bailey, Valerie Bailey.
Yeah.
Who was the guy leasing in Chicago? His name escapes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody just kept saying the white guy on stage. That's what everybody kept saying in the audience. They're like, the white guy on stage. Who the white guy? He's with Chicago.
Yeah.
Is it Sean or Michael something? I don't know. Bill Hammond, no. Bill know. Bill know his name. And let's see. And it was Uncle Mike Phillips on saxophone.
It was crazy, Mike.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was, and it, you know, and it just kept getting higher and higher. Everybody took it to the stage. Philip Bailey up there killing it. Started out on fire.
Absolutely.
Like, you know.
The band was killing it. I mean, they were jamming hard. I had folks
the band was amazing.
I had folks texting me saying, yo, man, that band's tight.
Yeah, give it up to Herman Jackson. Yeah, they killed it right there.
You know Herman's an alpha.
You know what? I saw the jacket he had on, and I said, you know, something wrong with that brother. I said, I can't put my finger on it. And now you did right there.
Oh, that's what it was.
There. Oh, yeah,
okay.
I forgot.
Okay, got it.
No wonder.
Got it. That's what it was. Got it. See how Cap was on. He had some make it out here. His boy from St. Louis, Joe Torre out here. George Lopez, Anthony Anderson, Eric Dickerson, Marcus Allen.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, Alex English. Man.
Yeah, Coach Woodson,
Coach Mike
Dr.
Woodson.
J. It was all lit. Ozzie Smith was lit out here. Man. Eric Dickerson, we was having a good time today, man.
Absolutely.
So it was fun, and people had a blast, man. That was great. So, you know, it's been really this last night was people coming in town, a lot of great people showing up in support of this. And so, you know, we just been growing each year, man, and it's fun. It's fun to have it back again. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know, everybody going to be
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Put that on it.
So just so y'all know, like we were live streaming last night, and so when Ceek walked out, Ceek was like, y'all got like the whole setup. You know,
man.
You know, we can't be regular.
Let me tell y'all about Roland Martin, man. This serious situation. This hardwood floors under us right now. This man that came in here, Roland Martin got a whole full-on setup, man. He hung a light. It's a situation. There's people in the background. I can order stuff from somebody right now. It's that serious. It's serious over here. Nice cameraman.
I told Bill. We gonna do the show.
You don't mess around.
Now, normally we live 6 to 8
Eastern,
which is 3 p.m. Here.
So that would be.
We were still playing. So I said, Bill, only for said, I'm gonna move the show to 5. We'll go live at 5. I said we're gonna have a great backdrop.
But let's just stop right there. Who the boss though? Who the boss? Look, you know, for you though, what I'm gonna do is.
I didn't have to ask nobody.
Yeah, you just decided. That's what I'll do.
Right.
It's Roland Martin, man.
Right. See, that's black ownership. Black ownership.
That's for all the youth out there. Understand it. And my man, you do great journalism as well. Reporting, you dig deep, you ask smart questions. I've been on your show. Every time I've been watching for years.
Absolutely.
You wild as. Never mind. I ain't. This your show. I ain't even ready to do that to you, Roland. Come on, man.
The show called Unfiltered.
Unfiltered. They know you wild, man. This boy be out here with them T-strap sandals on and dance the night away. You didn't dance last night.
No, we were working last night.
Oh, okay. Because, man, if Roland get on that dance floor.
Come on now.
All right, now.
Because see, what happened was one of my camera guys, he didn't know that we were going to be mobile. So
Got you.
during the middle of the concert, I'm with Anthony directing, and I said, "What the hell happened to the shot?" He said, "Oh, his shoulder got tired."
Oh.
And I went,
Hey, man.
"His shoulder got tired?"
And then you turn into Ike Turner.
So I walked over.
Come here. Whose shoulder got tired?
Right. So what I did was he had the
Roland Martin, unfiltered. He like the dark side.
Now, this way, he had the camera
Come here.
on his right shoulder. He was leaning. And I walked over, I tapped him on his left shoulder.
Yeah, hard.
Give me the camera.
And then did your own camera?
Oh, you didn't see me? Remember last night? Doc.
That was you.
That was me.
You had your hat backwards.
No, I had a rap suit. Yeah, that's it. Ain't got no sense. But I tapped him, and somebody was like,
You took over, man. All right. I know you do it all.
You shoot? I said, man, look. I said, I was behind the camera before I was in front of the camera. I said, because when you own the company, sometimes you got to grab the camera.
And that's another lesson for the youth out there, all right? Don't be above your pay grade. Your pay grade is the whole thing through. Don't ever think you're too big to do any one of the jobs along the way.
If you got the suite,
it's yours, right? It's yours, ain't it?
That's what you got to do. You got to let them know.
You can do all the jobs.
Well, y'all, the awards program, they got dinner going on right now. They got the awards program. And so I know I won one close to the pin. So I'm going to walk away with something.
All right, that's nice.
So we're gonna pop in there. We're trying to get a camera. So when it starts, we'll have a camera in there live. And so we're going to come back with some other celebs here. We said, man, it's always good to see you, my brother. We appreciate. Thanks for accommodating us, hooking us up. And so we'll be going to definitely have some more of the folks talking about the golf tournament and have some good time here.
Indeed,
I'm going to see you in a bit. All right. Folks, got to go to break. We come back. We're going to talk with the U.S. ambassador to the Haitian ambassador to the United States about the situation there. More than 1,300 killed in an earthquake there. We also talk about what's happening with Afghanistan. We'll be joined by Malcolm Nance, national security expert, as well as Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the only member of Congress to vote against invading Afghanistan. All of that, plus more, from the Cedric Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic here in Southern California. We'll be back on Roland Martin Unfiltered in just a moment.
Black women have always been essential. So now how are you going to pay us like that?
And it's not just the salary. I mean, there are a whole number of issues that have to support us as women.
Yeah. But that's what we deserve. We shouldn't have to beg anybody for that.
And I think that we are trying to do our best as a generation to honor the fact that we didn't come here alone and we didn't come here by accident.
I always say every generation has to define for itself what it means to move the needle forward.
When you study the music, you get Black history by default. And so no other craft could carry as many words as rap music.
I try to intertwine that and make that create whatever I'm supposed to send out to the universe.
A rapper, for the longest period of time has gone through phases.
I love the word. I hate what it's become, and to this generation, the way they visualize it.
Its narrative kind of like has gotten away and spun away from, I guess, the ascension of Black people.
Hey, I'm Deion Cole from Blackish.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred Hammond, and you're watching Roland Martin, my man, Unfiltered.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered. The folks in Haiti, man, cannot get a break. Of course, weeks after the assassination of the nation's president, a massive earthquake, 7.2, hit that island, hit that country, folks, leaving more than 1,300 people dead. Significant devastation in the country of Haiti. Joining us right now is Boshit Edmond. He is the ambassador to the United States of Haiti. Ambassador Edmond, glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. What is the situation there? Has the death toll been updated, and what kind of assistance is Haiti asking of the international community? Ambassador, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
More than 1,300 people have perished. Has there been an update on the death toll? And also, what are you asking of the international community in terms of assistance?
I think the death toll now is 1,400 and more than 7,000 wounded. And what we can ask for now is the continued international assistance to help us manage this crisis, because the southern part of the country has been completely destroyed by this powerful earthquake. And now I believe the most important thing is, since we have already received some assistance in terms of search and rescue, and I think now we need to concentrate on medical supplies, because the hospital were already overwhelmed by the COVID, but now they are facing a situation where they need more medical equipment and more meds and so on. So now the critical part is to assist the wounded and to assist those who were saved, and to give them the good care that they need.
What percentage of the country has been impacted by this earthquake?
I believe it's 3 geographical departments. The southern part, the southern part of the country, which has 3 geographical departments. I believe that we can tell about around more than 6 or 5, between 4 to 5 million people. But the areas, most of the remote areas where it's very difficult to attend, now the assistance is needed mostly, and as we are getting from the U.S. Coast Guard some help with helicopters to get access to those places where very remote areas where people are trapped, and to bring them to the cities where they can receive medical attention.
You talked about hospitals being overwhelmed by COVID. Are you setting up remote hospitals? How is that going? And do you have Doctors Without Borders and others? Are folks also coming in to provide assistance?
Yes, Doctors Without Borders are there. And then we hope to receive some medical help from Israel by tomorrow morning. And then some hospital hospital are being conceived to see how they can help with those with the situation, because the current hospital now overwhelmed, they are full. Now I believe the efforts are being concentrated on trying to make shift hospital and to make sure that those people who need attention get what they really need to do.
There's always a lot of questions around it. People want to help. Who should they work with? Are there any particular entities, specific entities, that the Haitian government is asking people to give to, as opposed to what often happens is there are a lot of different people who say, give to us, give to us. And so are there particular, especially for African Americans, people are asking us, how can we help? Where are you directing people to give?
Well, I understand it's a very tricky situation, because we experienced it in 2010. Because for the current moment, what we are trying to do, we are trying to avoid to make the same mistake again. Because now we just don't want to direct people to any organization like this without making sure that those are credible organizations. We are currently working with the Ministry of Planning and some other entities, because what we want to do, we don't want to receive any goods, any material whatsoever. What we want to encourage people to give their financial support when those people in the remote areas and they can get assistance to rebuild their lives, because we just don't want to collect things and things that are not necessary now. The most important thing is, if you can help, do it with your financial support, and we are going to put a list very soon, and certainly my office will share it with you as well, and that list will be on the website of the embassy, and so the contributions can be made to those places. But for now, we just don't want, or we are not ready yet to name some specific organization, because we want to make sure those organizations are credible and and people can trust them.
All right. Ambassador Bookshit Edmund, Ambassador Haiti to the United States, we certainly appreciate you joining us. We look forward to having you back, and whatever assistance that our audience can provide, we certainly are able to, we hope to do so. As someone who, on my mother's father's side, they migrated from Haiti to the United States in the 1800s, and so certainly there are a lot of folks in this country who have descendants from Haiti. And of course, we also know about Haiti gaining its freedom from slavery. And so it's important that we also support the brothers and sisters there.
Thank you so very much, Roland. I really appreciate your assistance and your help. And certainly, I'll be more than happy to come back and to talk to your audience about what is being done now.
All right. We surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I want to go to my panel right now, folks, and bring them in. We're joined by Avis Jones DeWeaver, also Omakongo Debinga. He's with us as well as Michael Brown. Glad to have all three of you here. Avis, I want to start with you. That last part really is important because, look, whenever these things happen, historically you've had people say give to the Red Cross, but they've had significant issues when it comes to actually providing the resources there. And so one of the things that I've been doing is reaching out to Haitian Americans to say, where do you want African Americans to be giving and what type of support? We also know there are African American and African American organizations and also provide resources and things along those lines. That to me is also important as well. So we are sure that our dollars and our goods are going to use and going to credible organizations.
That is so critical. As you mentioned, we've been burned before in terms of providing support to the Red Cross, thinking that it would make it to the Haitian people, only to find that there were all sorts of problems going on there. And so I completely agree with you. We need to reach out to Haitian Americans, organizations that have relationships with people on the ground in Haiti, to make sure that we are there in a way that can actually make sure that our dollars are making the difference for the people who so desperately need it right now. Haiti has such a powerful history. We owe so much to the people of Haiti. To me, it is just so imperative that we make sure that we support them right now as they find themselves again in an hour of need.
You also have torrential rains with tropical storm that is impacting recovery efforts there. And Michael, it's one thing after another, and you just sit there and go, man, can Haiti get a break?
Apparently not. And as my heart clearly goes out to our brothers and sisters in Haiti, I see that you have been shopping at Goodwill Enterprises to get your clothing. And as you have been shopping
I keep saying
at Goodwill, I mean, you can get nice stuff there for like a dime, for a quarter, and I see that you took advantage of it. So I understand. You're right about Haiti, not getting a break. And I guess the question is, the United States clearly steps up for folks in the region, in this hemisphere. I don't understand, and I could be wrong, and maybe, feel free to correct me. Does France do their part in Haiti when it's time for search and rescue and sending medical aid and things that they need to recover? Because it seems like the burden is always on this hemisphere with the United States and Canada and some European countries. I just don't see France doing what they're supposed to do.
Omakongo, look, you heard the ambassador say Israel is going to be providing assistance. Historically, Cuba has provided assistance as well. Michael makes a great point. The country that Haiti, frankly, had to pay back a lot of money for gaining its independence, they should be stepping up as well.
Oh, most definitely. And that's the case with many of these former colonial areas, and on many levels, Haiti is actually still paying France now for what it did. I'm talking financially as well as politically. And Michael is right. These countries often don't step up. My parents are from the Congo, and we have a history there as relates to the Belgians, who left us with one college graduate in the entire country. And so that history is real. And I hope that the people of France also put pressure on its government to also support it. Look, we have to make sure, because one of the things you also mentioned with the ambassador is so important, and Dr. Weaver, I mentioned it as well, is that the history is so important. And so many times we see Haiti in the news, it's related to something that's disastrous. But we got to start ingraining in the minds of people, especially black folks here and internationally as well, that it was what happened with Toussaint Louverture that led to the Louisiana Purchase, what helped the United States grow and expand exponentially with Jefferson and the like. And once people start to realize that there's that real gloried history and that has been part of a spirit of revolution, I think that many of us, not any of us here, because we obviously know the story, will stop looking at Haiti as a charity case and look at it as an extension of black revolution throughout the diaspora that needs our support in order to get where it needs to go. And so I'm also glad that the ambassador said to wait until they provide a place where we can go and support financially, because too many of us want to just send money elsewhere, but we have to really wait and be patient to make sure we're supporting our people.
Absolutely. And folks, it is absolute devastation there. Again, you heard the ambassador say more than 1,400 have been confirmed dead in Haiti. They are continuing the rescue efforts. And so you got the earthquake. Then, of course, you have the tropical storm that has downpour of rain that has descended upon the island as well. And so it's just problem after problem. And so we're certainly going to provide, once we get that list, provide the list of organizations that you can actually give to, whether it's economic resources or whether it's goods. We want to make sure that credible organizations are getting those resources to the people there who absolutely need it. And so that's absolutely going to be our focus. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Afghanistan. Turmoil exists there with the United States pulling troops out. The Taliban has completely taken over the country. What changed? 20 years later, $2 trillion, nearly 3,000 American troops killed. Was it worth it? We'll talk to national security expert Malcolm Nance and also Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the only member of Congress to vote against the invasion of Afghanistan. Looks like she knew what she was talking about 20 years ago. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from Southern California at the 8th Annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. We'll be back in a moment.
I believe that people our age have lost the ability to focus the discipline on the art of organizing.
The challenges, there's so many of them and they're complex. And we need to be moving to address them. But I'm able to say, watch out, Tiffany. I know this road.
That is so freaking dope.
Floyd's death hopefully put another nail in the coffin of racism.
You talk about awakening America. It led to a historic summer of protest.
I hope our younger generation don't ever forget that nonviolence is soul force.
Priceless.
Hey, I'm Cupid, the maker of the Cupid Shuffle and the Wham Dance.
What's going on? This is Tobias Trevelyan. And if you're ready, you are listening to and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Welcome back. We're live Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club here in Camarillo, California, side of the 8th Annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. Over the weekend, folks, massive chaos in Afghanistan as the Taliban completely overran Afghan forces and took over that country. They are in control of that country. You have the United States desperately trying to occupy not only its personnel, but also Afghans who helped the United States. You had people literally filling up the runways in Kabul, preventing planes from actually taking off. Many are blaming the United States for not knowing that this was going to happen. It was in July where President Biden literally said what you're seeing was not going to happen, but in fact it did. Earlier today, he spoke to the nation and said if he had to make the decision again, he absolutely would continue to pull American troops out of Afghanistan.
American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves. We spent over $1 trillion. We trained and equipped an Afghan military force of some 300,000 strong, incredibly well equipped, a force larger in size than the militaries of many of our NATO allies. We gave them every tool they could need. We paid their salaries, provided for the maintenance of their Air Force, something the Taliban doesn't have. Taliban does not have an Air Force. We provided close air support. We gave them every chance to determine their own future. What we could not provide them was the will to fight for that future.
A lot of blame has been going around. You got Republicans who are blasting President Joe Biden, folks comparing this to the fall of Saigon. Keep in mind, it was Donald Trump who signed the agreement to pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by May of 2021. Don't forget, Donald Trump wanted to invite the Taliban to Camp David. Yeah, don't forget what actually happened. How foul is the Republican Party? Well, they actually disabled a page on their website that touted Donald Trump's agreement with Afghanistan and the information regarding the Taliban. Sounds about right. Joining us right now is Malcolm Nance. Malcolm, of course, is an MSNBC contributor. He also is the author of the book, The Plot to Betray America, How Team Trump Embraced Our Enemies, Compromised Our Security, and How We Can Fix It. Malcolm, 20 years, $2 trillion spent, nearly 3,000 soldiers killed in the country. There are folks, some who are saying, we gained nothing out of this. The Taliban is back in charge. Do you agree with that assessment? Was it wise for the United States to go into Afghanistan? And what the hell happened here that the intelligence community thought that it would be 60, 90 days that this would actually happen when it was a mere several days?
Well, first off, we had a mission to go into Afghanistan in 2001, which was to take down the support structure of al-Qaeda, which, by the way, at that time in the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan was actually running the training programs for the Taliban. They essentially were organizing and maintaining professionalism in the Taliban's military forces at that time. That mission was accomplished relatively quickly. We routed al-Qaeda's forces, and then by February 2002, the Bush administration completely changed its sights about what it actually was doing. They started going, of course, planning to invade Iraq. And all of the resources that had flowed into Afghanistan, all of the forces that were in that region completely shifted away from Afghanistan towards Iraq. Now, it was always folly to think that we were going to come in there and create our own country based on our values, our morals, despite how the people on the ground live there. It is a very simple country. I went in very soon after 9/11, right after the Tora Bora operations, and it was very clear to me that the people on the ground there wanted some fundamental things that just worked well with the Taliban. The right to live by their own culture, within their culture, because the Taliban were Afghans. The right to worship their God in the way that they wanted to, which was fundamental Islamic, and of course, to maintain the prosperity that they could understand from the culture they lived in, and get, you know, future prosperity, which for them was getting their sons married, right? Having children, grandchildren, getting their sons married. They were not looking to go drive around in Camaros. The most they wanted perhaps was a few more goats, perhaps a donkey, even often the pie in the sky, a pickup truck to help their little farms. But that is not something we offered. We offered to restructure the entire country precisely like the Soviet Union did when they invaded Afghanistan in the late 1970s, and wanted to remake this. That image of trying to remake it is what created this one-year cycle every year of saying everything's going great, the armed forces are holding it, we're rebuilding Afghanistan. You know, when the number $2 trillion dropped, that was the effort that we put into Afghanistan. It's absolutely phenomenal that we did that. That money went into the coffers of the political elite, the con men, and the billionaires who were all living in Abu Dhabi and Dubai when they flew out in their executive jets here a couple of days ago. To answer your second question, the armed forces of Afghanistan was a paper army. Quite a bit of it was. Yes, there were many fighters who were very good. Yes, there were a lot of interpreters and logistics support people who helped us greatly. But for the most part, many of the officers were corrupt. Many of the senior leadership in the armed forces were corrupt. The military, all the money, 60, 70 billion we were putting in a year, that money was just getting stolen. An enormous amount of that money went to U.S. government contractors. And when we ended our operations, all of those contractors supporting the Afghan army disappeared. The Afghans cut a deal with the Taliban. That's how this country collapsed in a matter of days. The Taliban in some provinces were being, had cut these deals with the local tribal leaders and perhaps even some of the provincial governors, and were sending representative groups of men, some of their terror cells, that were underground, 20, 30, 40 guys, going to the province house and declaring the province captured. There was no real war or linear, battlefield, showing mobile battles of them actually winning victories. The few places they did attack, the soldiers left and went home. That should sound familiar, because that's what the Iraqi army did in 2001 or 2002 when we invaded Afghanistan. 2003, sorry about that.
But then you hear the fear of what's going to happen to women and children there. We already are seeing some of these videos. You're already seeing people talk about the human rights abuses. And so then the question is, what should have been done? First of all, was our military properly prepared to extract people from the country? Could we have avoided these scenes? Should the United States military have sealed off this airport and had it under its control to be able to coordinate flights out and things along those lines? What should have been done to avoid the chaos over the weekend and what's still happening right now?
I'm sorry, you were always going to have that chaos. So now it's time for a little history lesson, because one of the things that I mentioned on air over the last couple of days is quite simply this. Americans are culturally ignorant of other peoples, and they don't understand that those peoples have a vote in what happens out there. And many of those, again, the reason that airport was surrounded so quickly and flooded, many of those people who are Taliban today were Afghan National Army 3 days ago, right? So should we have done this? Yes. There could have been an enormous quantity of preparation, but the United States Armed Forces cannot bend space and time to our will and suddenly have 100 transport aircraft there. We had been mobilizing a few days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, to bring in 6,000 to 7,000 troops into that region. But many of the commanders surrendered their forces. The government left. The Taliban took their few hundred men and drove in from Jalalabad or came up from Kandahar, which is an 8-hour drive, and were there before any resources could flow into that place. Should we have been better prepared? Absolutely. Will Joe Biden have to take a hit for that? He said the buck stops with him. But the most important part of this story is the fact that this was negotiated years ago by the Trump administration. They gave the Taliban Afghanistan. The Taliban did not attack us or kill U.S. forces as part of that agreement in exchange for 5,000 of the most hardcore Taliban members and leadership to be released back into the Taliban, and they are all there. The president of Taliban, of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan today, is a person who was released under that deal. The Taliban were just waiting because it was given to them. The Afghan people who were there, the tribal leadership, were waiting for them as well and waiting to surrender. So we could not have, I mean, unless you listen to guys like me, right? The mid-level intelligence guys, the low-level intelligence guys who say, these guys are going to run it the first shot. Well, we had more faith in that. But as Secretary of Defense Austin said, you can't buy faith and you can't, you can't train in faith and you can't buy loyalty. And their loyalty is to their immediate families. They are now going to drop those uniforms, go home, buy a couple of more camels, a couple of more goats with the money they had. And before you think that that's a stereotype, that is a real thing, okay? And they are going to live their lives. The Taliban will establish a national government across the tribal areas, and they will go right back to 2001. But Roland, one last point. I mentioned history. This happened to the British in 1842. The only problem is in the first British-Afghan War is that all British forces in Kabul were slaughtered. Only 3 survivors out of a 2,000-man force. And they let those 3 survivors go into Pakistan to let them know what they had done to them. The British tried this in the 1890s again, the Russians in the 1980s. Look, you just have to learn these lessons. Don't go to a place that you don't understand. It should have been Americans that spoke Dari and Pashto, not having to hire interpreters. We don't do that. We run in and we use, with cultural ignorance, and we expect things to go our way.
Malcolm Nance, always a pleasure. Thanks for the breakdown. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Years ago, there was only one member of Congress who had the courage to vote against the war in Afghanistan. She was the Congresswoman from Oakland, California, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. This was the speech that she gave on the floor of the House of Representatives at that lone vote.
Mr. Speaker, members, I rise today really with a very heavy heart, one that is filled with sorrow for the families and the loved ones who were killed and injured this week. Only the most foolish and the most callous would not understand the grief that has really gripped our people and millions across the world. This unspeakable act on the United States has really forced me, however, to rely on my moral compass, my conscience, and my God for direction. September 11th changed the world. Our deepest fears now haunt us. Yet I am convinced that military action will not prevent further acts of international terrorism against the United States. This is a very complex and complicated matter. Now, this resolution will pass, although we all know that the president can wage a war even without it. However difficult this vote may be, some of us must urge the use of restraint. Our country is in a state of mourning. Some of us must say, let's step back for a moment. Let's just pause just for a minute and think through the implications of our actions today so that this does not spiral out of control. Now, I have agonized over this vote, but I came to grips with it today, and I came to grips with opposing this resolution during the very painful yet very beautiful memorial service. As a member of the clergy so eloquently said, as we act, let us not become the evil that we deplore. Thank you, and I yield the balance of my time.
And joining us right now is Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Congresswoman, glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Congresswoman, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear her, folks. I see her, but I can't hear her. She can hear me. All right. All right, let's see. Double check your system, see if you're muted. Just make sure you're not muted, Congresswoman. Now I can hear you. Now I got you. Now we got you.
You can hear me.
Now
Okay.
we got you. Now we got you. Now we got you. All right, cool. Now we got you. First and foremost, when you see those video clips from this weekend, when you see the terror in the eyes of people, when you see the desperation trying to get out of that country, what was going through your mind?
I'm feeling right now like I felt on September 14th, 2001. Devastated in so many respects, Roland. These people, our troops for 20 years have done everything we asked them to do. The Afghan allies, the people who supported the U.S. presence in Afghanistan, they're under threat of death. Our American diplomats, our citizens, NGOs, businesses, it's terrifying what's taking place. But I have to tell you, we have got to do everything we can do. And that's what I'm thinking about now is how do we, in my capacity as chair of the subcommittee that funds a lot of our visas, special immigrant visas, and all of the diplomatic and development stools of our foreign policy, what I can do more to help this administration with these evacuations. Because we've got to do something. People are desperate. They're dying. They're hanging onto planes. This is untenable. And so that's how I'm feeling right now. That's what I'm working on day and night. And also, of course, I hope everyone recognizes that there's no military solution in Afghanistan. And the president's absolutely correct in his decision and what he did. But the movement out and the planning was, in many respects, short of disastrous.
So how do we resolve this particular issue here? There are a lot of people, obviously, who are concerned about the treatment of women in Afghanistan. But we also are dealing with, there are numerous countries where we can be angry and disagree with human rights violations. Look what's happening in Myanmar right now. What's happening in Malaysia? The prime minister resigned. What's happening in other countries? And so, how do we deal with that, where our presence kept the Taliban from being in control, but the option really was: do you stay there for the next 100 years, or do you simply say, Afghanistan, you've got to take control of your country. We can't be Big Brother for forever.
Look, we can't nation build Roland, at all. This is an example of a presence, a military presence, where there's no military solution attempting to nation build. We owe the people of Afghanistan support from after we invaded the country and did everything that we did. Our soldiers did everything that this country asked them to do. So we owe them a debt of gratitude by helping them with the development, with women's education, women's empowerment, everything, schools, everything that we needed to do to help them. But we should not have been there for 20 years as a military occupation, Roland. And so, yes, we stand for human rights throughout the world, but we can't nation build. And so wherever there are violations of human rights, we need to say so, and we need to engage in the mechanisms that would encourage these violations of human rights to stop. But we cannot occupy a country militarily when there's no military solution. And then now, as with Afghanistan, we see what's happened when you do occupy a country for 20 years. There's no military solution. Now we're faced with a terrible disaster. And so we need to really learn the lessons of Afghanistan and know that, Congress has been missing in action. I've been trying to get Congress to revisit this blank check that was given. And Congress has to really put some restraints on military adventures around the world. That has nothing to do with protecting our national security. The president can always use force if our national security is at threat. He has that responsibility and duty under the Constitution.
But Congress authorizes the use of force, and we have to do that very selectively, targeted, so we don't end up where we are today in other countries.
Last question for you before I go to my panel and each one of them ask you a question. What does it also say that this nation had no problem, Congress had no problem spending $2 trillion in Afghanistan? But
Say that again, Roland. Say that again.
Talk about I said, what do we say to folks when Congress had no problem spending $2 trillion in Afghanistan, but God forbid want to put together a program of $2 trillion to actually spend in American cities where you're dealing with the poor and impoverished, where you're dealing with high rates of infant mortality? What does it say that this country has no problem spending that type of money when it comes to the military, but when you talk about non-military, then all of a sudden it's, oh, we can't afford these things?
Mm-hmm. Says a lot about our priorities, but it also says a lot about why so many people are living on the edge in this country and why we have now a military budget of over $740 billion, which is excessive. We have enough resources, a budget in the military that could warrant a 10 to 15% cut right now, which would invest $75 to $80 billion in human infrastructure, building our own nation, helping people who have been shut out and marginalized for so long. So people need to rise up and say, stop it. You know, we have other tools in our toolbox, Roland. You know, I chair the subcommittee on appropriations that is responsible for a $62 billion budget for diplomacy and development. But yet the defense spending is $740 billion. It's totally out of balance. And so the public, we have to educate the public so people know they have to make sure their members of Congress understand that they're not going to tolerate this military first Pentagon spending budget at the expense of their quality of life, but also it's not at the expense of our national security. So we've got to make sure members of Congress are not afraid of reducing the military budget, because that's the only way we're going to bring some sanity into our federal budget and our priorities.
Questions for my panelists. I'm going to start with Omakongo. Your question for Congresswoman Beverly.
First of all, thank you so much for your courage and bravery. It's been amazing to watch over the years. I wanted to know, what do you feel going into 2022? What is the best way for us as just regular citizens to keep the pressure on Congress to make sure that some of the things that you've been talking about are actually taking place, particularly when you talk about reallocation of the budget, education issues, and just getting them to prioritize what should be happening in our country that's not?
Sure. Thank you so much for that question, because that is the question, how we hold elected officials accountable in between elections. And I don't see enough African Americans and people of color lobbying their members of Congress, saying, no, do not vote for this, or yes, vote for that. And so we have to have a lobby operation going on, a people's lobby, you know, that holds members of Congress and other elected officials accountable to promises that they make during the elections, but also to public service, to what they need in terms of their daily lives. I mean, people pay taxes regardless. And so some of those tax dollars should come back to our communities for schools, for housing, for health care, for climate change initiatives, energy efficient initiatives, and for job creation. And so you can't just elect people and let them go at it. You have to hold them accountable each and every day. I hear from my constituents. Let me tell you, I always say my district is one of the most enlightened districts in the country, because I hear from them each and every day about issues like, this is important. We know this vote's coming up. What do you think about it? How are you going to vote? We engage constantly. And that's what people need to do with their elected officials.
Thank you.
Avis, your question.
Congresswoman, wonderful to see you.
How are you?
As horrible as this situation is, the aspect of it that worries me the most is what will happen to the women and girls who are left in Afghanistan. And for all intents and purposes, their livelihoods will be sort of banished back to the Stone Age. What do you think we can do at this point to, in some way, help to provide some humanitarian help to the women and girls who have been left behind.
Sure. And let me tell you, that terrifies me also. And I've worked over the years on supporting the Afghan women through a variety of programs and funding priorities. And to see now a moment where the women of Afghanistan are going to have to go back into the dark ages is morally wrong. It's offensive, and it's tragic, and it's dangerous. And so we have to do everything we can do. And I'm glad that the president talked about every dime in terms of humanitarian assistance, development assistance. But we've got to work now with the international community, because if the Taliban is the governing body, if they're running the government in Afghanistan, how in the world do we engage diplomatically with the Taliban? And so we're going to have an international strategy. One right now, for the protection of women and girls. We've got to evacuate the women, especially those who have been activists, who've been speaking out, who have been leading on so many fronts. We've got to protect them, look out for their security and safety immediately. That's the immediate emergency that we have to address. But long term, we have to come together with the world and figure out how in the world we're going to protect women and make sure that the gains that they have achieved continue, and also protect them, because we know the Taliban and we know how ruthless they are. So it's something the world has to come to grips with and develop a strategy around.
Michael Brown, your question for Congresswoman Lee.
Congresswoman, how are you?
Hi, Michael. Good to see you.
I see you look the exact same as you did in 2001.
Okay, thank you very much. That's 5 grandchildren later, so thank you.
You're welcome. You had mentioned diplomacy, and if you were on one of the diplomatic teams, how do you use diplomacy with a group of folks that are hard to trust, that either lie or don't give the full story, or don't tell you where people are hiding, or if they're abetting folks? How do you deal with folks that you want to, in good faith, trust, but you can't?
Well, I don't like the quote. I guess it was Ronald Reagan, but it was trust and verify. Trust and verify.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's extremely important. And I don't even, in my work on the Hill, I'm not going to say I trust my colleagues. There may be a few that I might trust, but I don't trust hardly anyone, because you know what the deal is. But you have to figure out how to work together, and you have to determine paths forward in your common interests. And so you have to establish some rules of engagement, and you have to be able to verify that those rules are being complied with. But in the diplomatic world, in the political world, trust is not, I think, a concept that you can engage in like you do perhaps in your personal life. I mean, you have to be able to work with people and to believe that they're going to live up to their part of the deal. And I'm glad, again, going to President Biden, that's what he's doing, living up to his part of the deal. What he said he was going to do, he's doing. So you have to believe people will do the right thing based on your agreements and your engagement with them. So I don't think trust is the exact proper term or concept when you're engaging in international politics.
Understood. Thank you very much. Thank you, Roland.
All right, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, we certainly appreciate you joining us. We will be watching closely what happens in Afghanistan over the next few days.
Thank you. Nice being with you, Roland. Take care of yourself.
All right, thanks a bunch. All right, folks, got to go to a break. We come back. We'll talk with an infectious disease expert about COVID-19. It is exploding across the country. Folks, what is going on, and what are these red states doing? Also, black farmers continue to have issues when it comes to getting their payments from the federal government. And we'll be talking with more of our celebrities here at the 8th Annual Ceek the Entertainer Golf Tournament here at Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club in Camarillo, California. This gorgeous shot right here overlooking the golf course. It has been a fantastic day here in Southern California. And so we're going to go to break on that shot. We'll be back in a moment.
When you study the music, you get Black history by default. And so no other craft could carry as many words as rap music.
I try to intertwine that and make that create whatever I'm supposed to send out to the universe.
A rapper, for the longest period of time has gone through phases.
I love the word. I hate what it's become, and to this generation, the way they visualize it.
Its narrative kind of like has gotten away and spun away from, I guess, the ascension of Black people.
Floyd's death hopefully put another nail in the coffin of racism.
You talk about awakening America. It led to a historic summer of protest.
I hope our younger generation don't ever forget that nonviolence is soul force.
Priceless.
Hey, I'm Amber Stevens-West.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, that is a gorgeous view of Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club here in Camarillo, California, side of the 8th annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. We are here, had a fantastic time playing today. Folks, we're outdoors, of course, a social distancing, trying to stay safe here, but all across the country, cases are exploding, and it is really happening in this, we call it this red belt, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas. Joining us right now is Dr. Alexia Gaffney. She's an infectious disease specialist. And just so people understand how maddening this is, Doc, you have the governor of Texas, this idiot, Greg Abbott, who now is threatening to pull the liquor license of restaurants that require COVID vaccination proof to enter the restaurant. I mean, but he's the same person begging neighboring states, hey, can you take free of ICU beds for citizens of Texas? I mean, that to me is the stupidity, where you have school districts and restaurants trying to be responsible, and this idiot, running after all these right-wing lunatics is saying, oh, I'm going to snatch your liquor license. And in Austin, I just saw the story. 2 restaurants in Austin, Texas, have stopped doing it because the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission threatened to pull their liquor license.
Unbelievable. These people literally have blood on their hands, and they're completely unbothered by it. And apart from their political gain, it's like, what is the sense in all of this? Why would you put people's lives on the line? Why would you now put children's lives on the line? And why would you do it so willfully and so maliciously? What is being done here is absolutely dangerous. And when school districts and businesses try to work around these mandates, or really the lack of any sensible mandates, they're now being punished for it. It's despicable. Right now, we're seeing more pediatric hospitalizations for COVID-19 than we've seen in the entirety of the pandemic. And it is, as you said, it's in the red states. It's in the places in the country where there are the least amount of individuals vaccinated or fully vaccinated for COVID-19. And children 12 and under, or under 12, can't yet receive the vaccine. So in these southern states where children have already returned to school, where teachers may not be vaccinated, where it's unlawful to enforce a mask mandation, we're seeing schools shut down already within the first 2 weeks or within the first 3 days of school because of outbreaks and rampant exposure to COVID-19. And it is dangerous, and it is life-threatening. This whole false notion that children were not at significant risk for COVID-19 infection in the early phase of the pandemic was simply true and unfounded. When COVID first hit the United States, we pulled our children out of school and we protected them. So we closed up the spaces where children most rampantly spread infection, and we protected them. So we did not see cases. And now people are trying to utilize or falsely utilize this data, give a false impression that children can sort of withstand COVID-19 infection, and we've thrown the children into the fire. Even though most children may do well with COVID-19 infection, it is completely senseless that any child should lose their life to this infection when it can be prevented, when it can be avoided. And they are pulling out all the stops to pretty much ensure that people will get sick, be hospitalized, and die from this infection. And it is senseless and it's dangerous, and it's very disheartening to see as a healthcare professional.
Here are two tweets that I think sums it up. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announces executive order that allows parents to opt out of local mask mandates imposed by school boards and independent health departments. This happens on the same day that he activated the National Guard to help hospital care for COVID patients.
This is, cognitive dissonance at its finest. And why are we allowing the parents to choose for their children when the parents do not know any better? How can these parents decide that they know better than public health officials, that they know better than epidemiologists, that they know better than physicians, that they know better than scientists and actual researchers, not the people sitting on their toilet bowl Googling and watching Facebook videos and watching YouTube videos, but the people who have actually studied and understand how a pandemic works, how an epidemic works, how we can control the spread of infection. How we are deferring to parents who don't have their children's best interests at heart is beyond me. And in our communities, we've seen people have their children removed from their care, removed from their custody for lesser offenses. And we have these people who are willfully putting their children's life and health and well-being on the line to I don't even know why they're doing this. It's not to prove a point. It's really just to defy the people who have their best interests at stake. So now we have some folks who are really looking out for the best interests of everybody, and then we have other people who are just willfully defying that. And we're at a complete split, and it's costing people their lives. You have healthcare professionals who are burning out, especially in and around the Tennessee area. You have healthcare professionals saying, listen, we did all we could in the first wave of this pandemic, and we're doing all we can right now. But right now we're exhausted, we're burnt out, we're ready to quit, and we're just over it because all of this is preventable. And so it's literally like a civil war that's going on between those who are trying to protect the health and well-being of both the vaccinated people and the unvaccinated people, and those who are vulnerable but not yet candidates for vaccine, i.e. our children, and some of the most vulnerable adults in our population. And you have the people on the other side who just don't frankly seem to give a damn. There's not a better way to say it.
Dr. Gaffney, we always appreciate it. Thank you so very much. One of the reasons why we continue to have black health experts on here and not what I call all of these Google physicians.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for having me on, Roland.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. You do the same. Avis, on that particular point, I'm really sick of these people who don't even know what the hell is in an Advil. But when their damn head hurts, they'll take an Advil, but all of a sudden they want to question a COVID vaccine.
I mean, really, for real. It's so infuriating because it's not like we can just take these people and plop them on an island someplace so that they could just infect each other and have a good old time with spreading around the Delta variant and every other variant that's going to come as a result of their stupidity. Okay? No, unfortunately, they're mixed among us. And when you have them in governor's offices, where they are literally, I would believe, honestly, they're just playing this for their own political gain. To me, it just boils down to nothing less than plain evil. Because this type of ridiculousness, where on the one hand, you're going to undermine the success of businesses for you to make a political point, while at the same time you're putting people's lives in danger and asking other states to clean up your mess for you, is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I really hope people are paying attention and somehow are able to overcome all the challenges that's going on with the voting laws in Texas right now to be able to get this complete, insane evildoer and any others like him out of office.
Congo, I get a kick out of the folks who say, "Oh, absolutely not. I'm not taking a vaccine." And I had somebody who was saying that for me, look, I got God protected me, and the person responded, "So when you get sick, you going to the church?"
That's a good one. That's a good one. Look, the way I see it, I say, hey, God sent us the scientists and the doctors that helped create the vaccine. And so it's like, where do you really want to draw the line as it relates to how much you're going to look to the sky, for assistance? At the end of the day, it's really sad because what Dr. Gaffney said, which is really important for us to pay attention to, is the fact that kids were generally protected last year because we kept them home. Now we're just throwing them out there, and like they say, when two elephants battle, it's the grass that gets trampled, and it's really unfortunate. And I think that right now what we're seeing is that these governors, these Congress folks, these guys, if they have kids, none of them, their kids are going to the schools that are going to be affected by it. They're in private schools that have mask mandates, and they're completely separated from everything that's going on. As Dr. Weaver said, these people are evil, and I don't know if enough voters who support them are going to wake up. And if we don't get this voting rights issue fixed, these guys are going to end up staying in power for the long term, and we're going to have more deaths. And so we need to get up. We need to act up. We need to hit the streets. And I commend all of the businesses that are out there trying to make the right decisions, who are fighting these governors. And yes, Texas Supreme Court sided with Abbott. This might go to the higher courts, and I'm hoping that, given some of the things that we saw with Coney Barrett, we might be able to get some justice with the Supreme Court to some of these cases, make it there. Fingers crossed, but it shouldn't have to get this far.
Tell you, it's crazy, Mike Brown, and I swear, I'm telling you, I was at the Kim Babyface Music Soul Child concert. I dropped in Houston, and the sister comes up to me from Arizona, and she's like, "Why won't you have people on your show who give the other side of the story?" I said, "I'm sorry, what's the other side?" She says, "Well, I'm not vaccinated." I said, "Well, first of all, back the hell up." Her ass unvaccinated, got a mask dangling from her wrist. I said, "I need you to back your ass up." And she says, "Well, I have a pharmacist, and he doesn't believe in the vaccine." I said, "Well, first of all, he ain't a doctor." I said, that's the first thing. But she said, it's the other side of the story. I said, yeah, death, that's the flip side. I'm telling you, it's been tripping me out, the folks I've been running into. But I literally told her, back your ass up. You ain't going to be in my face talking to me about you ain't taking the COVID vaccine with a mask dangling from your damn wrist. Back the hell up. Go on, back up.
I find it interesting. I'm wondering, clearly, I think we saw some of the footage last week, and I think you may have even shown some of the footage in Tennessee, and there's like a school board meeting, and the people in the parking lot were obviously yelling at folks that wanted to support the mask mandate. And I'm wondering this correlation between, I hate to assume, but I'm assuming those were Trump supporters in the parking lot, and then with black folks that are not Trump supporters, that are still believing in the same conspiracies that the Trump supporter is. I mean, it's very interesting to me how that has occurred in this political dynamic. I mean, for example, I don't even know if some of these Trump supporters know, or even black folks that are believing in some of these conspiracy theories, Trump got the shot. He got vaccinated. Yep. He wanted to protect himself. Why he doesn't tell the world that, or doesn't do his own PSA. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we all know because they like talking to stupid people. That's what they like doing. My next guest is not one of those stupid people, but he does like to call out stupid people. Y'all, joining us right now here at Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club is Dio Hughley.
What's up, man?
Dio, good to see you.
Good to see you too,
I've
bro.
been following you on Instagram where you've been trying to be very patient with some of these
simple ass niggas. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. It's at a certain point, like in the beginning, I can understand a level of reticence. All the questions but now we have enough data for you to be making a decision. And if your decision is no decision, then I can respect that. But there are a couple of things you need to do. One is to stay away from people, and to accept the fact that you are a drain on the system. So if I think the funny thing I see about people who aren't going to take the vaccine, they don't go to Facebook when they get sick. They don't go to Instagram when they get sick. They go right to the hospital, and they become a drain on the society. And I think that if you have the courage of your convictions, like it's all these people. You won't wear a mask because God will protect you, but you don't have a problem carrying a gun. Like, what is he, busy that day? And so it just doesn't make sense. And for our people, for us, it's killing us disproportionately and largely because of misinformation. Now, you know, I got sick. I got my family sick. My son still
you got COVID. You got COVID.
I got COVID.
Yeah.
I passed out on stage. I was suffering from my son got sick. He still has to go to a cardiologist. Everybody at my work, there's one of my coworkers that had blood pressure issues from then till now. So you almost kill somebody, and it changes your perspective. I had long haul COVID so bad that, Roland, I'm gonna tell you, it was many days I thought I was gonna punch my ticket. I was like, I'm not gonna live my life like this. And so all these people who think that your motivation is just that you're paid, as asinine as that you're paid by a pharmaceutical company. How about you got sick, you sicken people you love, and you would rather that people didn't have the same experiences you did. Experiences isn't the best teacher, it's just the hardest.
I showed the video last week. There was a lawyer in the UK, white guy. He goes, "Well, I'm glad I got COVID. I'm glad I got COVID so I can show y'all this is not that big of a deal. It's just like the flu." So he records these videos, and then he recorded one of the videos. He says, "Well, last night I was in lots of pain." He says, "I was curled up in the fetal position for 6 hours," and I was sitting there thinking, I've had the flu. I ain't never been curled up in the fetal position for 6 hours. Right. That sounds painful as hell.
Well, it was
9 days later, his ass was dead.
Well, I think that, but people refuse. People often they cite the Tuskegee experiment, and the families, the descendants of those people came on and said, so it's nothing that's going to satisfy some people.
Dude, I had one of these ignorant, super weave YouTube historians dogging me because I had Dr. Ebony Hilton on. We were talking about Tuskegee, right? And we're discussing it, and I said, y'all, I went to the museum in Tuskegee. Right. They made it clear they were not injected; they actually were not treated.
Like Henrietta Lacks wasn't.
And all these folks were sitting here. Oh, Roland Martin, you wrong about it. We live streamed the event from Howard University of those Tuskegee descendants, and folks sitting there, well, I don't know why you saying that.
At the same time Tuskegee was happening, black and brown people all over the country were being immunized for polio, right? At the same time that happened, right? So it's really math. In order to get herd immunity, you need 80 to 90% of the population. Since they only comprise 58%, and we are 13%, and Latins are 30-some%. You need that collective, because there are only two viruses. Well, there's only one virus that has been eradicated, and that was the polio vaccine. And it took 184 years to do it, and that was because they had to immunize the entire world.
There you go.
And they killed it. So you have to immunize. Right now, these same people who are talking about all these things that they're not going to do are protected by vaccines. The same vaccine that Jonas Salk, a variation of that, that he invented in 1954, my granddaughter took who was 3 months old, who was 5 months old, took. So, and the reason we don't have those things, the mumps, the measles, the polio running rampant. Matter of fact, polio is in two places, in Afghanistan and it's in Pakistan. And they're going to, and once they get rid of it there, they'll eradicate it. So you're protected by the very vaccines. If you want to leave and go back to Africa, you're going to take a bunch of vaccines.
Hey, Doc,
if you want to go to school, you're going to take a bunch. So it's
you will not go into that country.
You can't. Well, you can if you, well, I don't know how you think you can't go to college. You can't. There's so many things you can't do. And really, it's getting to a point where, so, you know, the company I work for, Friday, made a mandate that you had to be vaccinated. And I think that once the FDA approves one of these vaccines, companies are going to have cover, and they're going to say, you got to take it. And then we'll see how convicted you are. Because instead of ramping up your immune system, you better brush up on your resume. I hope CMOS is hiring. Because it's
I had a brother, we stopped by the restaurant. I was in Houston Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My aunt passed away. We had a funeral, and we went to dinner. And and 6 of us, 3 of them doctors, 2 emergency room doctors.
Right.
So the brother comes up, waiter, no mask, and so he's talking. I was like, whoa. I was like, first question, are you vaccinated? He says, no. I said, your ass need a mask. I got up, went to the manager. I said, first of all, do you require your waiters to be vaccinated? He said, no. I said, well, you damn sure need to require them at least be wearing masks.
Right.
I said,
that was in Houston, right?
In Houston. And he said,
but don't you know that the apparently Corona does not exist in it doesn't exist in Texas or Florida. So I think it doesn't. Apparently it doesn't. But.
Because Abbott and DeSantis just swear it doesn't. And I made the manager go get that brother a mask, and I pulled him aside. I said, he says, boy, I got some questions. I went, 1, 2, 3. Here are 3 black doctors who can answer any question you have, bro.
You know, and I'm not. Ultimately, it's this for me. My motivation is what my motivation has been when someone is slain by the police. My motivation is what my motivation has been when we talk about voting, because I think we pretty much have the same kind of overall perspective. My perspective is what it has been now. I'm trying to do, and I'm sure you are trying to do the best we can for our people with the situation we have. Ultimately, there are facts you cannot dispute. 97% of the people who are in the hospital are unvaccinated.
98.
Okay. Lollapalooza had a big festival. 385,000 people showed up. 200 people got sick.
1,000 showed up outside of the Milwaukee arena where they won the NBA championship. 500 got COVID.
See, and so and all those, and the requirement at Lollapalooza was that those people be vaccinated. 90% of them be vaccinated, and the others show a negative COVID test. Contrast with Rolling Loud and see the only place where there's more virus in Florida is Louisiana and Botswana, literally. So people can have their. My question is this: we know that there's no debating that the virus actually exists and it is causing a great deal of harm. What is your action? What is your response? Because when you ramp up your immune system, that doesn't immunize you against disease. You may do better if you get a virus.
Right.
You might have a better outcome.
A brother Lyric told me, I'm drinking a lot of green tea.
Okay.
I went,
okay.
Okay.
So, it's really simple for me. You almost kill your son and see if all these people have these religious epiphanies or these professional epiphanies. When you see your son has to go to a cardiologist every 6 months because of something you did, or you see one of your coworkers struggling with long-haul COVID, tell me how you feel.
Right.
And if you're inhumane, if that doesn't move you. And I think that a lot of people are seeing a lot of suffering and pretending like it isn't real. And and we don't have the luxury. The American life expectancy last year dropped, a year? Mm-hmm. Ours, African Americans dropped 3 years. So we've lost 3 years because of a pandemic you say doesn't exist.
Right.
Our life expectancy has dropped 3 years. So these are things that are real. And as far as these people want to come on your show, I'm never going to let you on my show to lie. I ain't going to do it. I don't care what you call me.
Doc, that's it.
I don't need you to. Here's the thing. I'm not going to give you the other side of somebody who ain't a professional. You're not a virologist, an epidemiologist. You a dude that talks slick on Instagram. I don't. And you lied, and you literally lied so much you can't even tweet from your own name because you've spread so much misinformation that you're a known liar. Why would I? Why do I need to?
Right.
What is it we need to know? If there are 93 million people who haven't taken the vaccine, what is so special about your ass that I got to have you on? Right. They could lie too.
Right.
So and this notion that they're going to bully you or call you names, I don't give a damn what you call me. I'm a grown man, and I'm going to say what I believe. There's a reason I have a platform. There's a reason you have, and the reason you don't. Here's the reason those people don't have platforms. Because the minute they start telling lies, they get took off.
Right.
No one can keep them on.
Right.
No. Now, I suggest that they do that to us. If you call the people that put us on, and if we are lying, have us taken off. If we're spreading bald-faced, harmful falsehoods, I suggest you call them. But you know why you won't? Because we don't. There's no alternative to the truth but a lie.
I had somebody who literally said, "Man, why you? I don't like when you always interrupting people." I said, "No. When folks start lying, then I'm gonna correct them at that very point. I can't let you lie and then go,
Because it's like they're not. There is no opposite. If we know that this exists, we know that 4 million people worldwide have died. 200 million people were exposed to the virus. There literally is so much virus in some of the places in this country that only places in Africa have more. And the only reason they have more is because they don't have the access to resources.
Boom.
We would be a third world country.
They don't have access. They are standing in line, walking miles for that vaccine.
Right. And so ultimately, I do know this. I was frightened when I took my whole family at one time. What kind of man would I be if I've admitted the things I've done in terms of indiscretions in my personal life? If I've been open book about that, why would I lie about my motivations for giving? Why am I going? And who are you? I should lie to. If I ain't gonna lie to my woman, why would I lie to you?
Right.
I want the best for you. If you don't want the best for you, I get it. But I think you have an obligation to make a reasonable decision. I tell you what, when you get sick, find out what address those people you sent to Facebook, find out where their hospital is and go there, and stop going to hospitals where we need the resources for people who are in accidents.
Doc, I'm the same way. So, man, always good seeing you.
Likewise, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to play.
It's all good, but we had enough. We had enough Omegas out there. So
it's never enough now.
No, that's always enough. It's always enough. That's why I kept this black and gold golf ball right here for you.
Oh, I thought it was purple and gold.
No, it ain't purple and gold.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Joe Torre said the exact same thing. So clearly, y'all two are colorblind. Clearly.
One thing we ain't blind about is our devotion for our people.
Absolutely.
And you guys were first, but that's the prototype, because sometimes you don't get it right the first time, and then later on you get it, you lock it in. So
so that's what they told y'all.
I'm glad.
That's what they told y'all.
I'm glad y'all was the VCR.
See, actually, what it's really more like is this here. The difference between Alpha and Omega is sort of like, when you go to the club and they got that rope line and they walk up and you's like, I'm on the list, and they go, I'm sorry, I don't see your name. And then you got to go to that other club down the street.
Right.
That's them.
Or you can start a party in the parking lot.
Right. But you ain't getting in that party.
I get it. Right.
You ain't getting in that one. Mike Brown, I know you sitting there. That was for you, because we talking about Haiti at the top of the show.
Yeah.
He want to make a crack on my Alpha gear in the middle of the Haiti conversation, after I just had the ambassador from the United States from Haiti on, so I ain't say nothing. But I would talk about your bald-headed ass now.
And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about I think that one of the things that has happened is that because Haiti didn't have, whether it was hurricane or earthquakes, they're not structurally built. They don't have the infrastructure to sustain that. So one of the things we need to talk about is how can we help Haiti to avoid, you can't move them geographically, but you can make sure that their infrastructure can withstand, like here we're built to do that things. And I think one of the reasons, the problems Haiti has is that it's so financially disconnected that a lot of things that wouldn't be bad in other places are bad there. And they're digging people out of the rubble with their bare hands. And I just want to give my sincere condolences and my prayers, and I think we need to have a concerted effort as to what we can do to make sure that they have at least the rudimentary things you need to survive as a society.
Well, we had the Haitian ambassador of the United States on, and I said, look, let us know specifically who are the proper groups to give to, because there's a lot of folk out there who are grifters. We want to make sure that happens.
You mean the ones selling cures to COVID, those dudes? Okay.
Or the ones with the fake vaccine cards.
Yeah.
I mean, U.S. Customs busted a boatload of fake vaccine cards from China. You got to be really a dumbass fool to spend $400 on a fake vaccine card for a free shot.
You got to be a dumbass dude to risk your life on a dude you met on the internet. That don't even work on Tinder. That don't even work on Tinder.
Dear, always good to see you, baby.
Always, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. We gotta go to. First of all, I'm gonna go back to the panel here in a moment. I'm gonna talk to John Boyd. But that really is, I think, a key point right there, Michael. The people who all of a sudden they listening to, folk you would never in your life listen to. You wouldn't even follow them for directions to a Popeyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's we have obviously our country, America is the greatest country in the world, but we are not perfect. We still have a long way to go on a variety of fronts. But it just seems some of these things are easy, and we were making the easy things difficult. And that's part of the challenge of this COVID stuff is it just seems so, and maybe, some of us who think alike It just seems so easy. Put a mask on, whether you're vaccinated or not, when you're indoors. That just seems so easy. I mean, it doesn't seem like there should be much debate. If you're outside, social distance, and do what you need to do. Okay, fine. But put on a mask, and every child in America in school should have a mask on until this pandemic is over. And I bet you a lot of parents are going to keep their kids in masks even after the pandemic is over. So some of these things seem easy, and we're just making them more difficult.
Look, folks, I'm telling you, it is one thing after another that we're actually dealing with this. Speaking of dealing one thing after another, our black farmers are having to do the exact same thing. Now you have white farmers who are suing them, alleging reverse discrimination. Now the issue is black farmers now going to have to be required to prove they own the land. Joining us right now is John Boyd, National Black Farmers Association. He's the president. So John, explain the latest barrier that they're now throwing in front of black farmers.
Yes, well, just like you said, now we have to prove that, we own the land. And now we, as you stated earlier about the white farmers that are suing us in 12 federal lawsuits, and two have filed two of the courts have issued injunctions, which means, Roland and your panel, we can't get the money again. So here we worked on this thing for 30 years. And for me, Secretary Vilsack moved entirely too slow to get the monies out to the farmers. They had the information. They knew who the farmers were that were eligible, and he still didn't get the money out. And then, Roland, and for your panel, there's $1 billion. 10% of that $1 billion is supposed to be addressed for black farmers and farmers of color who have been discriminated against. That's not tied up in federal court. That Secretary Vilsack still has not released those funds. And so I met with a conference call with him and the agriculture chairman, David Scott, who really pressed Vilsack on when that money was going to be released to black and other farmers of color, and he still didn't give us any time ramifications there. So here you have the president of the United States who wants to do the right thing, and in my opinion, and for black farmers and farmers of color, he brought the wrong man back to USDA to execute his plan of action. Secretary Vilsack is the wrong man at the wrong time in history, to help black farmers.
So, what's next? I mean, again, Congress approves the funding. Now these folks are suing you, so it just seemed like it's just one thing after another. And so, what's next? How can the public help? What do you want folks to do?
Well, they can support the National Black Farmers Association, and Roland, we are responding in all 12 of those courts, and amicus briefs and all of those things, and hopefully those things will make a difference. And the other challenge we have is the Department of Justice doesn't want to admit to discrimination after the year 2011. Discrimination for black farmers still exists today, and the Department of Justice hasn't fought this case vigorously enough by laying out the historic pattern that black farmers have faced in this country, from the history of slavery, the history of sharecropping, and Jim Crow, and all the discrimination and court decisions that they have all this documentation, and it hasn't been spelled out, in my opinion, for these judges to actually get a good, clear picture of what happened. So one of the judges even said that since there was no discrimination, he didn't see what the issue was. So the Department of Justice is going to have to change the way it's addressing these cases in federal court, and they're going to have to fight more vigorously. And we're asking for the president to lean on DOJ to do the right thing. And we also are going to continue to fight this thing in federal court. But we need the support of black community, and to spread what's happening through the eyes and ears of people like yourself, Roland, who continue to stay on this issue. It's very, very important that the everyday black person know about the plight of the black farmers and the uphill struggle that we have in this country. Here it is, $5 billion. We can't get our hands on it. And black and other farmers of color were depending on this debt relief to help us in our farming operation.
All right, John Boyd, National Black Farmers Association. We surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you for having me.
All right, folks. Got to go to a break. We'll be back. More with Roland Martin Unfiltered here at Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club, Camarillo, California, site of the 8th annual Ceek the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic.
I believe that people our age have lost the ability to focus the discipline on the art of organizing.
The challenges, there's so many of them and they're complex, and we need to be moving to address them. But I'm able to say, watch out, Tiffany, I know this road.
That is so freaking dope.
It ain't just about hurting black folk.
Right.
We got to deal with it. It's injustice. It's wrong.
I do feel like in this generation, we've got to do more around being intentional in resolving conflict.
You and I haven't always agreed.
Yeah.
But we agree on the big piece.
Yeah.
Now, conflict is not about destruction.
Conflict's going to happen.
Ceek.com. We are partnering with them, of course. We appreciate their support right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Check out a couple of their products that you can take advantage of.
And you're watching us on Ceek. What's going on? This Quavo Huncho. Right now you in the Huncho's world. Please let the music play.
Enjoy the Ceek.com video by using one of their virtual reality headsets. All you do is just pop your phone right here into the VR headset and enjoy the content. You can also take advantage of their 360-degree headphones. These headphones here come in a couple of colors, black and gold, but then also all gold. And so you can check these out. If you want to use our promo code to get a discount, it's RMVIP21, RMVIP21. Then, of course, a portion of the proceeds comes back to Roland Martin Unfiltered, which allows for us to fund the show. And so this is a black-owned company, and we certainly believe in supporting black-owned companies. Mary Spiel is the founder. And so, again, go to Ceek.com and use the promo code RMVIP21.
Hey, I'm Arnez J. Black TV does matter, dang it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jacob Lattimore, and you're now watching Roland Martin right now.
Stay woke.
Man, I don't give a damn about no punk-ass cues. Don't care about no cues. Don't care. Man, I don't care. First of all, I told y'all got... I told y'all got more prison chapters than us, so don't be acting a fool. Don't even be starting. Joining us right now, I used to like him. I used to like him. You know, I used to like that. That's what the alphas always told y'all. Come on now, don't now you know. Now you know, because we had a chant. We party all night, we stay up late, but most of all, alphas graduate. David Justice, y'all. Long time,
my man. Good to see you, Roland.
What's up, Doc?
Always good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, it's a pleasure, bro. Always.
Good time out there?
We won.
Y'all did?
Yeah.
What was the score? I mean, I was over here working.
I don't remember what our score was, but we
see right there. If you can't remember your score, how the hell you won?
The discrepancy and what I'm unsure about.
Oh, that was a discrepancy.
Was the one hole that we got the hole in one. I wasn't on the card, so I don't know how many down I should put. But
y'all got a
just
hole
know,
in one. Now, was that the one? That's the one you purchased the hole in one?
Yes.
The par 5.
Yes, because we figured we have to purchase this par 5.
Right. We did too.
Everybody's gonna be purchasing it.
Yeah, we did
and it
too.
could be a difference maker.
It costs $500.
Hey, and it could be a difference maker on whether or not you're at the podium.
Right.
So we purchased it, and needless to say, we were rolling. We got first place. Yeah.
But you don't remember the score y'all shot.
No, why is that? Go check, Roland.
So how in the hell you won first place, but you can't say the score?
Because I wasn't on the card.
Like we
Roland.
shot, you were on the card. So
no, my other guy was keeping the card.
How weren't you on the card?
Because I don't like doing the card.
I told y'all he don't make it. It
I gotta focus.
See, right there.
I gotta focus on my game.
See,
Mike,
right there.
Mike, I gotta
right
focus
there.
on my game.
Right there.
You know, I ain't got time for the card.
Math involved,
Omegas
leave the room. See,
hey, and the moment they looking for the loudest guy in the room, the alpha show up. Look, every time we played an alpha team in sports, it was always a domination by the Qs. Why is that? Why do alphas not have no athletes?
I'm sorry. Well, first of all, that's a lie.
Why is that a problem?
Now we know.
My history.
No, hold on. Now we know that's a lie.
We play charity basketball game against alphas.
Now we know that's a lie.
And the alphas begging us to stop.
Now we know that's a lie.
The Qs.
Now we know that's a lie.
I don't know why y'all so afraid of the Qs when we walk in.
First of all, ain't nobody afraid. Ain't nobody afraid of the Qs.
Every time I see an alpha, he running to go get a pencil on the pad.
Ain't nobody afraid of the Qs.
Y'all so afraid of us, man. There's something about that purple and gold.
Because when y'all walk in, you got your probation officers with you. So when you walk in, you got law enforcement with you. So as alphas, we are afraid of getting caught up in y'all and law enforcement.
Okay, so what you basically saying is y'all kind of soft.
No. What we're saying is y'all have criminal records, and what we're saying is.
Hey, Roland, you sound very Trumpish right now. You're talking a lot of junk, but I can't fact check that because Roland, I'm an educated Q.
Now that's rare as hell right there.
No. See, you talking like a guy who only knew the Qs who used to take your lunch money. So you only thinking about them Qs.
No,
there's other well-respected Qs out here. We won't take your lunch money.
It's about 6 of y'all.
We won't take your lunch money.
It's about 6
we'll
of
let
y'all.
you play golf with us. We'll let you, we'll let you into the club, for a discounted price.
It's literally about 6 of y'all.
We got 6 million of us.
First of all,
that's
no, you
legit.
Don't. No, you don't. Now
hold on,
stop. Hold on, right there.
Every dude that wanted to be a Q but was scared became an alpha.
Didn't nobody want to be a Q?
I'm just saying.
Why does one want a secondary organization?
Fact check it. Fact check
what?
Yeah. Every alpha.
You right now are sounding like Black Magnet.
So here's what happens.
Right now you sound like Black Magnet.
Young dude come to college. He said, I want to be a Q, but they just look too legit. They look too real. They too raw. Real? The Qs.
First of all,
that purple and gold.
The reason that's likely not gonna happen because y'all likely not on the yard because y'all got suspended.
Roland, why you interrupting me? You hear me?
Because you sound like Black Magnet.
Black Magnet. So what happens is the young fellas, they come onto the yard and they want to be Qs, but just something about them Qs, they feel like I just can't do it. They just too legit. So, it's easy to be an alpha. I'll just go over here. All I got to do is keep a C grade, C average, walk around with button-down T-shirts and some docksiders on, and I can be an alpha. Hello, guys. I'm an alpha. Where are the Qs at? They the one over there.
So here's what happened. So
Roland, you remember Roland.
So now that y'all heard fiction, now let me give you nonfiction. What actually happens is when the young brother arrives to campus, he says, "Where are the fraternities?" They say, "There go the alphas." They typically will say, "There go the kappas." Then they'll say, there used to be an Omega chapter, but they've been on suspension for the last several years, so they will not be returned to campus for another 4 or 5 years. I mean, that's typically...
Hey, Roland, I can understand, because I can hear it in your voice how much you wanted to be a Q.
Never.
I can hear it in your voice.
When I say there was no consideration, that was like zero consideration.
That's because we wouldn't have you.
I probably would have picked Iota or the Sigmas before Omega.
You know what it is? That's kind of... Well,
y'all can never win a GPA contest. Now you know.
You know what it is, Roland has been traumatized by the cues.
I ain't been traumatized.
And
I'm just simply saying.
He need therapy. He need
I'm
a little
just simply
therapy.
saying.
A little time in therapy.
It's like
Roland will get you right,
I told Ricky Smiley. You know something up with the Omegas when they got Shaq giving public lectures at their convention, giving workshops on public speaking.
How you gonna what? How you gonna talk about Shaq like that?
Well,
let me call Shaq.
Call Shaq. Whoa.
I ain't gonna let you sit there and talk about my friend Shaq.
What? I'm just saying.
Again, like I said, Roland.
Look. All I know is Ricky Smiley and I were going at it. We were going at it, and Ricky Smiley was talking about y'all were having y'all conclave in Raleigh a few years ago, and I said, "Wow, light went out." I said, "Anthony, light went out." I said, "I don't miss nothing." See, a Q wouldn't have caught that. See, y'all would just sit in the dark.
No, our stuff wouldn't go out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. First of all, y'all wouldn't even have extra batteries.
Tell them,
y'all wouldn't even have.
We're not going out. I like stay on.
Sound more like a poodle.
I like stay on.
Sound more like a poodle. That's it. So now y'all have a sense of how things go. Out here on the golf course, you sit in this big ass. What? Exxon didn't have no shirts available. You got that big ass go.
Listen, I'm trying to get with that oil money. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have somebody take a look at me and golf.
Which means
golf might want to sponsor me.
So what you're saying is you might want to talk to somebody who's.
Hey, first of all, let me say this.
Hold up.
Let me say this,
David,
Roland.
you just said all money. I'm from
this.
Houston.
Let me say this.
I can hook you up.
Let me say this. To all the alphas out there, we all part of the Pan-Hellenic, right? Conference.
Well, it's actually Alpha and Divine 8.
Well, so, I love the alphas. Some of my best friends are alphas. Some of my best friends are alphas.
I ain't got no friends.
So I just want to make sure that y'all understand, the cues, when you're on top, you reach out to the little fellas.
On top
when you're on top, you reach out. See, when you're at the bottom scratching to be a cue, you sound like Roland. So all you alphas out there don't sound like Roland. Don't have all that hate in your heart for the cues. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be us. It's like the Marines in the military, right?
Okay.
Everybody can't be the Marines. They just the few, the proud. They can't. They too strong.
So allow me.
That's how it is with the cues. They don't want to come in. They can't be a cue. So what do? They look around and they say, "Well, I'll just go to the Army. I'll just go to alphas. Alphas easy. They just letting you in."
So allow me to
all
say.
All you gotta do is carry a pencil in a book bag.
So allow me to say this.
Carry a pencil in a book bag and you be an alpha.
So allow me to say this. You have just witnessed the first confirmed case of CTE in a baseball player. You have just witnessed the first confirmed case in a baseball player.
Hey, Roland, listen.
Now, on that one,
I don't appreciate you talking about my CTE, man. No, I ain't told the public yet. That's some bull crap, bro.
Now, you and Omega, you probably spell CET. But...
Hey, Roland, be quiet before I hit you with my pencil.
See, you better do a tag team and bring Joan over here.
Joe already ready to choke you out.
Okay, well, go tell God Tori to get over here then.
Oh, man, I swear to God.
Well, look, it's always, so you have a good time out here?
It was a great time, man. It's always great to be able to come and see you, see all the fellas, man, because, we don't really get a chance to see each other because everybody's got lives, families, they work, they doing their thing. So to come out here, Roland, to see everybody, it's always a pleasure, man. Like I told you earlier when we were talking, bro, it's always good to see you. You doing your thing, bro. You know what I mean? And it's great to see you, man. I tell you, I'm always locked in on what you're talking about because you're knowledgeable. You put it in a way in which is easy to digest. And you for real about it. You speaking in how it go, and I'm sure you got people that don't like that.
They'll get over it.
Right, you already know that.
Ain't my problem.
But the people that sound mind, all the cues, we understand what you're trying to say. We give you an alpha pass.
That's why we have video.
We understand what you're trying to say. But, yeah, man, it was great out here, bro. Like I said, Roland, our team won. I played with some really good players.
I'm going to have to verify that. Yeah, you said take the facts. I'm going to have to verify with Ceek to see who.
Well, you can, for once in your life,
I was told I won close to the pin, so I need to make sure I got it. I won by 6 inches. I need to make sure I get my prize.
Closest to what pin?
Hold up. First, I hit mine 6 feet 5.
Closest to what pin?
Now, we know there were several close to the pin. We know you won 1-3-3. Stop tripping.
You saw that, didn't you? Huh? You saw that?
No, someone told me.
I didn't win, though. Somebody got me at one.
Oh, you ain't win that one?
No.
Oh, well,
no, but I thought I did.
I won. Sorry. You should have hit that on the hole I hit on. Okay. All right. Okay. You can leave with your Carmel on white pants. We can please bring...
Hey, listen. Hey, get my shoe. Get my shoes in there too now, because my shoes.
They're cute.
See what I'm saying? See, the Qs know how to put outfits together.
But guess what? There's a reason why on Roland Martin Unfiltered we keep lotion.
Don't even try. My legs ain't.
I see that ass right there. I see that ass. That's why we keep lotion. That's why we keep lotion on Roland Martin Unfiltered. I ain't lotion your damn ankles
got
and
to
shit.
be getting money for that.
I ain't lotion.
You know these ankles clean right here.
No, your shit ass. I see the weight. They ain't the pants. Yeah. Push that in. That's that Nivea. Push that in.
I ain't mad at you. I'll take the lotion.
I'll
take the lotion.
Hey, this is a black show. We keep lotion on the set.
I'll take the lotion.
We keep lotion on the set. Now Nivea, y'all ain't sponsored yet, but goddamn it, y'all better be cutting the check. That's what I'm gonna show this side.
Well, I tell you what, you better take some of that sheen off your face. You look like you're very greasy up here now. You know, I mean, Q's ain't greasy.
That's another sponsor.
Look at me, y'all. See, I ain't greasy. See,
who ain't greasy?
But look at Alpha over here. He greasy over here.
Well, first of all, I've been over here working.
You ain't been working. Stop.
In the air conditioning.
You ain't been working.
You
ain't been working.
Go on with that old ass Gulf shirt on. Hell, you can't find a Gulf gas station anymore.
How my ankles look? How my ankles look now?
First of all, the company now called Chevron. Now go on over there and bring it. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm from Houston, the petrochemical capital of the world. You trying to get a contract, right?
To all the Qs out there, this is how you handle these alphas that want to be us.
And to all the Qs out there,
keep it professional.
That's the signal of fly away.
Keep it professional. Well, because you told me I got to leave.
Yeah. You taking all the damn time. Joe over there waiting. He getting drunk by the minute. He ain't going to be worth nothing in 5 minutes.
Team, I'll let you come over here and handle this.
So, I got to sit here and get it right now before that extra tequila shot kick in.
Okay, Roland, listen, I charge for all this, so send me a check or something in the mail. Y'all do this shit
I'm going to have Gulf going to send you a check.
Have Gulf send me a check. All right, my man.
All right, baby. I appreciate it.
All right, fellas.
Y'all, that's David Justice.
Come on.
Right there. Y'all know that's David Justice, known as the man Halle Berry said go to hell. What? Updated? I can't name all Joe's exes. Sit down, Joe. All right, y'all. Hey, Joe. Hey, everything, everything is on the table.
Oh, shit.
If he knew my ex-wife's name, he would throw out there. He gonna be Googling this shit right now. Yeah, you know it. Yeah. What up, man?
I know a lot of your ex-wives. They just say you ain't marry him. That's what they told me.
I told you he was drunk. Mike Phillips, come on up here, because he already drunk.
No, not drunk. Come on, man.
Yeah, Joe's group was behind us, and every time they hit a long ball, Joe would get out the cart. Hey, y'all see that? He wasn't the one who hit it. Let me explain something to y'all, golf. When the person who get out the car start talking first, they the ones who did not hit the long drive.
I hate one of them long drives. Dave, I got him, Dave. I got it, Q. I hate one of them.
You hate one of them?
I hate one of them.
One out of 18?
Then I can talk out of, on y'all. So, that's why I got out talking.
Got it.
So.
You have fun out there?
Man, I had a great time, man. That's great. Until you guys kept slowing up the course.
Man, please. First of all, y'all understand, I don't drink alcohol. So the one thing about this tournament, there's an abundance of alcohol on the course.
It was, for real? I didn't find that. I found some nice alkaline water and, a couple of, well, it had Grey Goose in it, but it was a couple of... I'm sorry.
They had cigars, massages out there.
Oh, man, yes.
They had some weed out there.
Did they?
Yeah, they...
I forgot about that hole.
You went past that hole?
I forgot about that.
You forgot about that hole.
And the rest of the four of them after that.
You probably stopped by there and you forgot they even existed.
Did you hear what I said? I forgot about that hole. And a couple of holes after that.
Is Michael Brown still there? Mike Brown is a panelist. He one of your
What? Get it right.
Your little compatriots.
Little compatriots. What is up with you? What's up with the little? Why you got to put the little in front?
No, I didn't actually say little. I said lil.
Lil.
See,
that's L-U-L and it's L-I-L.
Yeah, L-I-L is even more disrespectful than little.
Lil.
Lil.
Yeah, I forgot. There you go.
Right, lil. We want to be totally disrespectful. You say, how you? I told my wife when she asked me to do something in the church before we married. I said, how your little project go? Because when I met her, I ain't like her.
Right.
It's like, did you call my project Lil? I called it Lil.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, you got a question? Mike, you got a question for Joe Torre? I mean, you know, I don't really,
Champion.
I don't really care.
Champion today. I think I took second or third today.
No, I don't care. So, Mike, you got anything to say, Joe Torre?
See frat brothers all over.
Michael, you on mute. Take your damn computer off mute.
I'm not on mute.
Mute your mutt. Right.
Come on.
Nah, I'm not on mute. Yes,
Mike,
you can't hear
come
me.
on.
Well, we
yes, you can't hear me. Not on mute.
Mike, I can hear you. I can hear you, Mike. I can hear you.
How about now? Better? Hey, Joe.
I can hear you now, Mike.
Hey, Joe. How about now, Joe?
Mike, I'm a translate. Michael said hi.
Hello, Michael. How you doing?
Good to see my frat brothers all over that golf tournament doing well.
First of all, there are a lot of alphas here as well, but only the omegas are still stuck at the bar. But go ahead.
It's a free bar.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe, did you see any of Roland's shots?
Michael wants to know, did you see any of my spectacular shots?
Yeah, I saw a lot of his spectacular shots. They were left, right, and one amazing shot. Did it go into the water or go into the bushes?
No, first of all, you know you're out of your mind. Now, when you say
I saw one good drive.
First of all, when you say left, right shots, I'm left-handed. I hit left to right draw. So you're absolutely right. I hit left to right draw.
I mean, I do too. That's my specialty. But I'm talking about Army left, right, left, right.
No, we don't do those.
For real?
We don't do those.
You went in the bushes?
No.
You didn't go in the bushes?
I had to go pick somebody else's damn ball up.
Oh, that's what you was doing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to the bushes.
Your ball.
First of all, I can afford balls.
Well, yeah.
So therefore, if I go to the bushes, I ain't going to look for it.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't yours. You was going to get somebody else's ball. All right, that story you sticking with?
What? Everybody know that.
Okay, all
right. But what I hear you said that was a drive you saw that even you said, damn.
No, I didn't say damn.
Oh,
I said, okay.
No, you didn't say the Kevin Hart damn. You went, damn.
No, I didn't get deep with it. You know, bass was in.
No, that was the bass. That was bass. It wasn't all treble.
No, for real. I said, all right. I said,
see, right there. That's a hater right there.
No.
All right.
All right.
Shit. Damn, I gotta give his ass credit.
No, he got that one. Yeah, it was that one. He got that one.
Oh, he tagged that one.
Then when you see what you got, if I'd have saw another one, then I'd be like, damn, okay. Now I've seen you, and I talk about the putt you made, in the OJ tournament. The putt for the.
Oh, the OJs, right?
Exactly.
Oh, first of all, he said the OJ tournament. I was like, I ain't never been with OJ Simpson.
The OJ's tournament.
Yes.
Up in Canton.
Right. So y'all, we were playing at Firestone.
Oh my God.
Firestone Country Club. So I had to do my Tom Joyner segment. I'm literally doing it on the phone. I walk out. No practice putts, nothing. It was like a 60 or 70 foot putt.
Around
y'all,
the bend.
I'm talking about you had to hit it like it here.
You had to hit it up, down, curve,
it was all that. I walked up, one ball. I was like, watch this.
Talking shit.
Drained it.
After about 20, 30 people have we tried.
Right. All of them missed it. Eddie's still like, how the hell you hit that damn
For real. I'm still like, how the hell you hit that bullshit. I was like, it's... Anyway, but for real, and that's what I can say. So that was a damn moment. Like, damn, because I got close, but I was like, damn.
It was a nice ass watch I won, too.
Yeah,
it was a real nice watch.
You walked up smooth, like out the crowd, like it was written for you. I was like, who wrote this script for his ass?
Had the swag in that walk.
All that. You had everything going on, talking about Ohio and Ohio State, and you was using ping, pang, ping, ping, pap. I was like... let me go out. Let me get out this moment. This is his moment. Sometimes just
remember I had one more moment.
What was that?
No, remember at the awards deal? Remember when Eddie asked me to get awards out? And I said, y'all ask me again for free?
Yeah.
I see y'all gonna be singing for my parents' wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Now you know that actually happened 4 years ago.
For real?
Eddie got that call. I said, remember all them free ass speeches I
All
kept
them,
doing?
yeah, you took over that whole.
So yeah, I took over the Warsdale and I was killing.
He was killing.
So somebody goes, Joe, why don't you go up there? Joe said, shit, that mic too damn hot.
I said, he hot. What else is there to say?
Because I was killing everybody.
You was killing. It was like, hey, what?
So that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
When we play, it's music, it's alcohol, I don't drink, it's food, and it's a whole lot of trash talk.
It's fun. It's fellowship, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of just, golf is spiritual to me. So it's like, you either meeting somebody, you getting something over something new. Even when you play by yourself, you gotta kind of, it's 18 holes for you to get it right. And it's only you that's getting it right. Only you fighting you. And sometimes you can be around a group, these tournaments, you meet certain people that bring another part of you out that helps you game, man. And it's so universal. I say that, man. It's like, it's one of the best things, that I ever, started doing, because it brings me closer to individuals that I never probably would have the chance to speak with. On a personal level, on a business level, and just on a spiritual level.
That's right. Y'all, David Justin just came back. His Uber canceled once he saw who the hell it was. So he's looking for a ride. Stole your glasses. Oh, see? I'm sorry.
They over here. Hey, right here? Right here?
These your blind ass glasses?
Right here?
See, you so blind you can't see them.
Share your shades.
They were sitting right here.
I got your team right there.
I didn't even know they were sitting there.
Oh, no, those.
See what I'm saying?
You're welcome.
Thank you, Roland.
We can't, dog.
Oh, man. Joe Torre, baby. Always good, man.
All right, man. Come on, man.
Always good. Good seeing you, baby.
You too,
I gotta bring in Mike Phillips. Because Mike gonna tell his great story, y'all. So, Mike was Harriet Tubman. Mike was Mike pulled an underground railroad, expeditious type thing. Okay. Avis DeWeaver and Omakongo and Mike, I don't know if y'all are aware of this story. So Mike is going to share with us how he went Harriet Tubman at a NASCAR race playing the national anthem. Mike, come on out here. Y'all got to hear this story. Avis and Omakongo, Mike, like, what the hell?
I'm intrigued.
I'm definitely intrigued.
All right, see, this is why. So y'all might remember Mike Phillips, Mike, saxophonist extraordinaire. So Mike, it went viral. Mike played the Star Spangled Banner in the NASCAR race and weaved in, lift every voice and sing. What really happened?
So the VP of Fox hit me up and was like, this was happening when, they were fighting the Confederate flag, everything that was going down with Bubba Watson. So he says, this is Bubba Wallace, yes. So this is a great time for you to play the anthem. Can you come? So I'm negotiating it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it because this is like, they picked the black guy to play, and it seems like the right time to do it. So I convinced myself. I said, I'm going to do it, but this is what we're going to do. So I made the intro to the national anthem, the black national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. So, Roland, the craziest thing, man, check this out. I do the intro, and I got the piano player going, boom, like it made it feel. I said I needed to feel like it's a Baptist / Kojic Church of God in Christ intro. So, boom, 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 boom. Make it adamant and make it unapologetic. So we do that, and then I weave in the national anthem, and then right after the anthem, we weave back in, lift every voice and sing, and end it with the let us march on till victory is won. So I send it to NASCAR, and I said, hey, man, you like it? Because we're doing it viral. We're doing it virtually. The guy says, this is great. And this intro at the beginning, it's so soulful, and it's like gospel. And I said to myself, they don't know that this is lift every voice and sing. So I I applaud NASCAR, but for you not to have anybody at the top of the food chain to not know that that's Lift Every Voice and Sing.
The Negro National Anthem?
I said, okay, cool. So I'm pausing. I'm like, so I'm busy looking at TV. I turned the NBC or wherever station it was on. And I was like, man, I had my own popcorn. I was like, we're going to see this. And I heard the boom, 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 boom. And looking at everybody in the audience putting their hand over their heart while the intro of, I'm talking about all the racers, people at home, probably like 150,000 people just like holding their hand over their heart while the Negro National Anthem was played. Do you know how much joy that went through my heart to see all of the racers with the hats and America, and they was listening to some black national anthems? So now we go to Twitter, and you know black Twitter on it.
Right.
One lady says, you know, this is, I don't know what was that, but it wasn't our American national anthem. And you know, black Twitter cable was like, hey, man, because it was ours. She was like, that's why people like that shouldn't play. USA. And I said, did I just pull a coup? Hey, and you know what? At the end of the day, this disparity between the people who are playing sports and the owners, it's so lopsided that if we're playing a sport for you, we would like to hear a song that correlates to our struggles that are constant in America. So standing for that song is important. So if you don't want to play it, guess what? I'm going to sneak it in, and we're going to play it, and y'all going to stand, and you're going to pay homage to a song that explains everything about our struggle. So, man, listen, it was a cool. When old boy says, this was a great jazzy intro, I was like, oh, shoot. You don't know that. It's the song. So I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to let this joint play out. I turned on that TV. I have my popcorn. I was like, I'm going to see how this is going to turn out.
Amy, you can only get this on a black show. See, you can only get this kind of stuff on a black show.
And then now, you know, like, seriously, I play at all of these games. And now I'm going to fill you in with this, Roland. And a lot of people don't know. When I play, whether it's a Super Bowl, NFC Championship, and you hear me play the national anthem, the most part where people clap is when I hold the long note on Land of the Free. So why did I choose to hold the note on Land of the Free? Because I'm holding the note waiting for that to come into fruition. So we ain't free yet, but I'm going to hold that note as long as possible as a silent protest weaved inside of the national anthem to wait for this freedom to come. So people think it's a ploy to get people up. Oh, my God, he's holding the note and people are clapping. But no, I'm playing it as long as I can because that's how long we've been waiting. So, you know, when I play it, I have to really take in consideration the fact that music has the ability to bring people together. So when you look at a person with a Seattle jersey, a person with a Falcon jersey, and they're holding hands, okay, there is a temporary moment of everybody together, but guess what? After it's finished, everybody digs into their ideology and micro-reality. Now we're back to the Hatfields and McCoys. But to be at a point where everybody can be unified musically, it's a beautiful space. That space can be more beautiful if Land of the Free could be something that came to fruition. So until then, every time I play the anthem and when you hear me hold that note, it's making everybody know that musically we're waiting for it, you're waiting for it, and I'm waiting for it.
My man, Mike Phillips.
There's no doubt, man.
I appreciate it, my brother.
And I see you out here hitting closest to the pins, golf game, he be putting these bear claws on these people on this golf course, yo. So, you know, as black people, we just approach the game differently. So we love the PGA and the button-up style of golf, but the way when we get down, the banter is different, the energy is different. We will take this energy of golf and make it our own. The fraternities is repping. We got DJs on the course. So, yes, the culture and the game has changed because we have arrived, but we're not going to play it solely by your rules. So, Roland, you've been an advocate for the game, how you do it, and then you don't change on the course because some of these dudes, and some of y'all be tripping because as soon as you get on the course, your whole vocabulary change. Hey, Bill, I've been aggregating elsewhere, virtually make it impossible for me to entertain your needs to be loquacious. But if you leave a grandiloquent utterance at the tone, I will appropriate a response as expeditiously as possible. And then, you done lost the hood that you came up with just because you're trying to conform to a spirit of the game that don't even want you to be who you are. So when I see this dog, and he is black as ever on the course, and that is what we need in the game. So, Roland, shout out to you of keeping that 100 on the course
all day, baby.
Every time I see you, man.
That's right. I'm going to have my Frankie Beverly Mays going all the time. You know it.
And, with black people, we got to coordinate. This dude, for the rooter to the tutor, this is what we do.
We gonna be coordinated. You know what we gonna do
all day.
Yeah, I see you. Mike,
it's love, man.
I appreciate it, baby. Always good seeing you.
All right, no doubt.
Davis, I knew you would get a kick out of that inside scoop there.
Well, I can't
Davis,
imagine.
go ahead. You got,
No, I'm just saying, I can imagine the Bubbas at home were probably having a heart attack and trying to figure out what was going on with the national anthem.
Yeah, Omakongo, they were like, well, what did he just do? See? I told you pull a Harriet Tubman on him.
That's pretty impressive. And I can see folks going ridiculously nuts on Twitter about that as well. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it's like, you mad that folks don't know the history, but it's like if they did, he wouldn't have been able to sneak that in. But so now it's out there forever. I'm going to go find that joint. That's pretty hot.
Well, no, you don't have to find it because we got it. Watch this.
Okay. That's powerful. Wow.
That's good there.
Well, Mike Brown, that's why this is the blackest show on television.
That's what it's all about right there, Ro. Mike Phillips brought it home.
Indeed. Folks, Mike, Obakongo, Avis, I appreciate y'all hanging with us. Normally, we're 6 to 8, but we wanted to be live from here where a lot of these cats are here, the celebs. There's a bunch of cats. The program ended. We were actually live while the program was going on, so we didn't get a chance to catch it with Dr. J and Anthony Anderson and others, but we shot some great video of them earlier. We'll be sharing some of that stuff tomorrow as well. Hey, folks, if y'all want to support what we do here, Roland Martin Unfiltered, please join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar you give goes to support our ability to be able to broadcast shows like this here remotely from Camarillo, California, from the 8th annual Hit the Entertainer Celebrity Golf Classic. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. Venmo, RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com, Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. And, of course, you also have PayPal, which is R Martin Unfiltered. Folks, that is it. I'll be back in studio tomorrow. Thank you so very much. Ceek the Entertainer, Bill Hammond, all the folks at Hammond Entertainment, Spanish Hills Golf and Country Club here. We had a fantastic day. Cedric told me my team took second. We shot 17 under. So I'm looking for my daggum prizes. So that's it, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. And also, later tonight, we're going to restream the VIP party from last night. Amazing. Eric Benet, Philip Bailey, Valerie Bailey, all these other artists performed last night. Y'all, only Roland Martin Unfiltered is broadcasting live, bringing y'all this stuff. That's why we do what we do. We keep it real, keep it black, keep it unapologetic, keep it unfiltered. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Holla!